Behind the scenes, the untold story of Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe. Outside the Outlander studio, the Scottish morning was bitterly cold, breath turning to thin smoke. The crew trucks were parked in long rows, filming equipment filling the empty field. Sam Heughan stepped out of the makeup room, wearing a thick coat, his blonde hair gleaming in the morning mist. He smiled. That smile, the smile that had once made millions of fans sigh, was gentle, warm, with a hint of mischief, the true Scottish man. In front of him, Caitriona Balfe stood under the test lights, her black hair tied high, her sharp eyes seeming to pierce the rain. They were Jamie and Claire. On screen, they were destined for each other. In real life, they were two perfect colleagues. Or at least, that was what the world believed. When the director shouted, "Action!" Sam put his arm around Caitriona's waist, his eyes blazing as her lips trembled. That scene, Jamie saying goodbye to Claire in the middle of the battle at Culloden, was one of the most moving of the season. But as soon as the director shouted, "Cut!" the air broke. Caitriona took a step back, her voice cold. "You should stay in the script. We're out of focus." Sam looked at her, his eyes faltering. "I'm just going with the flow. If you don't like it, I'm sorry." She didn't reply, just walked quickly out, leaving Sam standing in the middle of the empty lawn, the wind whistling through the pines. Everyone on the set had known for a long time, there was something between Sam and Caitriona that couldn't be defined. It wasn't exactly love. It wasn't just friendship either. They used to laugh like two best friends, but one word out of tune could freeze the air between them in an instant. Some days, Sam looked at Caitriona with a gentle, almost infatuated look. Other days, she avoided that look, as if it burned away the peace she was trying to maintain. Letters never sent. Caitriona kept to an old habit, writing letters by hand. Not sending them, just leaving them there, as a way to console herself. One evening after a long shoot, she sat in her hotel room, pen in hand. Outside the window, Edinburgh was raining heavily. On the paper, the words appeared, "Sam, have you ever thought that we are living in an illusion? In the movies, we love each other to death. In real life, we smile at each other because the camera is on. But when the camera is off, I see only emptiness between us. I used to think, if you held my hand just once, not because of the script, but because you wanted to, maybe I would no longer be afraid of love." She stopped writing, folded the letter, put it in a drawer, never sent it, and Sam, he had his own way of escaping his feelings. He ran. Every morning, before the crew woke up, Sam ran around Loch Lomond, his breath mixed with the mist. He told himself that it was just a job, that his feelings for Caitriona were a byproduct of the role, of the years they had spent together. But every time she saw him smile, all that reasoning collapsed. The rumor spread across social media, Sam and Caitriona are in love in real life. The public loved such stories, they called them the real Jamie and Claire. The more the crew tried to deny it, the more the press added to it. One day, Sam received a text message from Caitriona. "What should we say to the media?" He replied after a few minutes, "Nothing. They just want to sell news. We just need to keep quiet." She sent an "okay" emoji. That was it, but silence can sometimes kill things faster than words. The darkness between the two. A year later, Caitriona got engaged. The news was like a stone thrown into a calm lake. Sam was filming in Prague when he heard the news. A colleague showed him the article on his phone. He just glanced at her, smiled, and nodded, good for her, but that night, he was so drunk that he had to be escorted home. Meanwhile, Caitriona sat in the living room, newspaper and wedding photo in hand, her heart heavy. She had chosen a kind, gentle husband, and one who did not belong to the film world. But every time she stepped onto the set, every time Sam's eyes passed over her, everything in her heart was in turmoil. Once, in the middle of filming, the director asked him to do a long kiss scene, a goodbye after the war type scene. The camera rolled. They kissed for real. Too real. When the director shouted, "Cut," the whole crew fell silent. No one dared to say anything. That night, Caitriona locked her room. She cried, not knowing whether it was because of regret or because of longing. The truth behind the lights. Years later, Outlander ended. Sam and Caitriona went their separate ways. In one of their final interviews, the reporter asked, "Was there ever anything more than friendship between you two?" Caitriona looked at Sam. He looked back at her. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. Then Sam smiled. "We share more than what people see on screen. But some things should stay where the lights don't shine." Caitriona nodded, her eyes brimming with tears. Some relationships don't need to be defined. They just exist. That night, when no one was around, Sam received a text message. There was no sender's name, just a familiar line, "If there is a next life, let us meet, not as actors." He looked at the screen for a long time, then he texted back, "I will recognize you, even if only by your smile." In the end, only the light remains. Many years later, when Caitriona had left Hollywood, people found her in a small cafe in Dublin. On the bookshelf behind her was a slim autobiography, Behind the Light. In it, she wrote, "I learned that there are people who don't come to stay, but come to change us forever. There was a person who made me believe that love doesn't need an audience. He taught me how to love, and also taught me how to let go." No one needed to ask who that person was. Everyone knew. That year, Sam appeared on television for an interview about a charity project in his hometown. When the host asked him if he had any regrets, he smiled, the smile that had melted millions of hearts, and said, "No, everything happens for a reason. It's just that sometimes, the reason is so beautiful that it hurts." The camera turned off. He stood up and walked outside. It was raining in Scotland again. He looked up at the sky and whispered, as if to someone far away, "Claire, or Caitriona, I don't know. But thank you for being with me through those years. Sometimes, the truth behind the spotlight is not a scandal, nor a secret. It's just something so real that it can't be said out loud."